Jeff, the Curtis Joseph moment, right? Is, you take a goaltender, you start them for the first game, but how long is that leash?
Wow.
In Curtis Joseph's case, it was not particularly long. So, the question becomes, and we've talked a lot about the goaltending going into the Olympics. Do you start Jordan Binnington for that first game against Czechia? And if he doesn't perform well, is that it? Then do you go to Logan Thompson after that?
Okay, so here, and again, I am doing this based on nothing other than speculation, knowing how coaches and Hockey Canada think. And they're big on loyalty and they're big on service. And that's why they put a real premium on players that have gone to the World Championships, that have been in those big games, that have performed in those big games. And there's no denying, despite the fact that for the majority of this season, to be blunt, Jordan Binnington has been very hard to hit. A lot of goals have gone in on Jordan Binnington. He hasn't had the best of all possible seasons. But Hockey Canada knows how he performed at Four Nations. We all saw it. Even though even getting there for Team Canada, there was in every single game at the Four Nations, Karissa, you saw it. There was always one goal where you said, oh, that can't happen in the final game. And you know what? To Binnington's credit, it didn't. But that was like the showpiece game for Jordan Binnington. I would not be surprised if Jordan Binnington gets the first start out of deference to what happened and out of respect for what he did last year at Four Nations. But after that, all bets are off.
Binnington, so I've got a stat on him. As we talk today, he's dead last, very bottom of the league in goals saved above expected.
I'm new to hockey. Is that bad? I'm new here. Is that a bad stat?
It's not great, but to your point, Jeff, and how Hockey Canada thinks and that loyalty, which is, it's a thing on the men's side, it's a thing on the women's side too. Something Doug Armstrong said on the day that the team was announced is Jordan Binnington was a name that nobody had any questions around in that room when they were coming up with, sort of the initial locks on the roster. So doesn't bother them.
Can I throw something out there?
Yeah, of course.
It's not as if it's an embarrassment of riches in net for Canada to begin with. It's not as if they're, in Team USA and, unfortunately Thatcher Demko's situation, hip surgery on the horizon. Like, it's not like USA and there's like 5 or 6 like high-end goaltenders to choose from. I understand that the goal saved above expected is that specific to Jordan Binnington and his backup Joel Hofer as well. But there also is no denying that in the biggest 2 moments of his career, 2019 Stanley Cup Final and the Four Nations, he's come up big. There's a history of this, like Grant Fuhr with the Oilers, Jerry Cheevers with the Boston Bruins, guys that have had like pedestrian regular seasons, but then the playoff puck drops and all of a sudden they turn into like the ghost of Jacques Plante. And they just like become different goaltenders. Maybe that happens this year with Jordan Binnington. We're about to find out, Karissa. We're about to find out.
I can't wait to see. Yes, and Doug Armstrong acknowledged that too. Of course, also general manager of the St. Louis Blues, that they haven't given him enough support, in front of him as well.